Alright folks, today we're going to talk about composting 101 and how you can do it and the advantages of it and where you do it. So I'm a little background on myself. I'm just a Joe Bag of Donuts. I drive a pickup truck and I'm an outdoorsman, so I'm not your prototypical hippie or tree hugger, but although I have some of those characteristics. So I'm not a compost expert. I'm just going to share information on what I've been doing for the past probably 10 years that's really worked well. So first off, what is compost? We're just recycling organic material and putting it in the ground. The first advantage is that it is getting rid of food scraps without putting them in a landfill. A lot of times organic material itself doesn't decompose very well in a landfill. It does decompose well in compost material, however, though. So we're talking best practice is not to use any animal material, although I do bury fish guts and things like that, and that works well, but I don't mix it with the compost. So I take a bucket and I put it by my back door. You can have a 5-gallon bucket, doesn't matter, and you just want to empty it every day or two. And I have 4 kids and we go through a lot of organic. We do a lot of fresh vegetables. We either grow them ourselves or we buy them at the store. So we go through a lot of fresh vegetables and fruit every week. So we have a lot of scraps, things like orange peels, banana peels, rinds from watermelons. I make a lot of avocados, so I use their rinds. Some of it breaks down faster than others, but it all does break down eventually. So I've had this kind of commercial compost bin. It's probably a square yard or cubic yard maybe in volume, and I fill it. It's in bad shape, as you can see. You can use a bucket, however. Just make sure that it has the ability to put stuff in the top, and then water can get from the top to the bottom and out. So it has vent holes and that sort of thing. You don't want it to be completely sealed off on the bottom so water can get through. And then I just throw the stuff in there. It looks gross, but it actually doesn't even smell that bad, even in the worst part of summer, if you keep it covered. And then it breaks down the material by natural processes, bacteria and little bugs, and I put worms in here sometimes. They break it down really well. So you'll notice in the winter, and I do fill it in the winter. I live in Minnesota and it's cold most of the year here, a good portion of the year. So there's no breakdown happening in winter. So it breaks down quite a bit in summer, and then I fill it up basically in winter. And I go through probably 100 to several hundred pounds a year of material. And then on the bottom, I can scrape it out the bottom with a shovel and I can put it in my garden. I have a fairly small garden. It's probably 8 feet by 20 feet or something like that. It's just a terrace. I put some dirt on and I grow tomatoes. I like fresh grown produce. It tastes better than what you buy in the store. So I take it out of the bottom here once it's broken down and I put it in my garden. And I only have to do this probably every couple years. It's amazing how quickly nature breaks down this stuff, as long as you put the right stuff in there. Like I said, I would not recommend putting any animal products, only plant products in here, because it breaks down really quickly. It doesn't smell bad. Keep it covered. As you can see, mine is in bad repair and needs to be replaced, but I've been doing this for 10 years probably, almost, and it's worked really well. So I'm saving probably hundreds of thousands of pounds of stuff from the landfill, and it's going, so it's kind of that first advantage, saving it from the landfill, and then it goes into my garden where it's reused. So it fertilizes the soil. I don't use any fertilizer at all. I don't use any pesticides normally in my garden. I just plant it and go. And I'm not a gardening expert either, but I weed, I water. Obviously I plant in the spring and I harvest in the fall. It works really well. Cucumbers, tomatoes, things that are kind of expensive and not very good in the store, I get a plethora of them from my garden. So I'm kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone by saving it from the landfill and putting it back into the soil. I also am a fisherman and I keep a lot of panfish that me and my family eat, so I bury their guts in the garden. I've probably put thousands of panfish in here over the years, and that obviously enriches the soil as well. So just start with that. That's one simple thing you can do to make the world a better place is by, instead of throwing all of your food scraps, organic plant food scraps, into the trash, put them in a compost bin and let them break down by nature. As I said, this is pretty much self-contained. You really don't need to take anything out of here other than once in a very great while if you're doing it right. It needs to get a little water in the top for the process to happen, as it does, just leaks in naturally on mine, and then it can come out the bottom. So give it a shot. Hopefully that is useful to you.